People have questions. If not, I have a lot of questions. So I'm gonna kick it off first. How is this so fucking scary? Like, what was the genesis? Did you have an image of this thing? Did you have an idea of the story? What was the very first inception for this?
Well, first of all, I'm glad this is no longer in my office. This has been behind me for about a year now. And right there, every time I was there. I think just the idea of this was, like I write all the time, so you always have these ideas that are they're kind of homeless in the way they're floating ideas that you can never find the script to put into. So with this, it was like, I mean, it's Oddity, but it's the characters. It's Olin, Danny, Darcy, Ivan, Ted, and Yana. And it was like each one of those, I had short films, or they had been in other scripts. And it was, again, just, eventually it just turned into this script. That think it's scary. I mean, it's hard for me to be, objective with it now, but, yeah, I guess it's like, for me, it's kind of like a big mix of all the genres I like. I mean, there's a little bit of psychological horror in it. There's kind of a monster movie in a way. It's a ghost film. It's kind of a little bit of a whodunit. So I suppose it's kind of trying to put all that together and make it work.
Well, that's what I love. I really love that you pointed out all those things, because I think the reason this works so well is that it taps into the expectations of each one of those genres and those ingredients. And you know certain scares are coming. Like, you're not surprising the audience. The audience knows, like, okay, something's gonna pop up. It's gonna cut to this shot, but like, there's just something about the way you frame it and the way you edit it and the way you get to it that, like, it still gets you, even though you know it's coming. Every single person in here is like, I know it's about to happen, and it still gets you. I sat down, I came in, everyone was fucking reacting. It's amazing. I love it. It's not every film can do what you guys have done. It's really great. And I'm curious for the cast, like, what was your initial pitch from him to you? Like, how did you guys get involved?
Audition, I guess. Yeah, that went well. that was my process. I'm really good at these Q&As, guys.
I think, yeah. I mean, the cast are obviously, brilliant in it. I think you're being a little modest there, because I mean, as a writer, you can only, or just as a filmmaker generally, you can definitely only go so far. You can write something, and but then you do need people with imaginations to work with you. I mean, our production designers, producers, our cast. Like even the way Darcy was written. Like I'm from the southwest of Ireland, and it's a small town, and I was very, very relaxed, laid back people there, and that's kind of the way she was written. But then talking to Carolyn, the way what she did with the character was just, I think, so much more interesting than what I'd written. And the same for Gwilym. I mean, it could be very one note, I mean, it could be like, he's the bad guy and she's the hero, but I think as you're going along, I mean, for me, even watching it tonight, you kind of feel like that even Darcy could be the villain in a way. Like, when she first shows up to the house and kind of imposes herself upon this couple, you think, like, she's going to be the killer, like, she's really the hero.
Well, I'm curious of your perspective of someone who is ostensibly the villain in the end. I mean, what was your initial conversations? What did you draw on for the role?
Yeah, I suppose. I think the thing was always trying not to show too much, wasn't it? It was trying to play the stakes of the moment for what they were at any one time, but without trying to expose the fact that like, Ted's true self. I suppose that was always the challenge. That was about it, really. To what you were saying earlier, like, your man here has such a kind of understanding and passion for the genre that he's able to like take those tropes that you recognize and like play with them. And as you say, they're coming, but like he's got such craft that he can really kind of tease those moments out to the extent where I watched a screener at home, knowing the scripts, knowing the story, knowing exactly what's coming, fucking shitting myself. Because they're so well done. So, yeah. Terrifying. And I hate horror films. I absolutely hate horror films. I don't like the sensation of being scared at all. So this whole thing has been torture for me. I enjoyed one moment of it. When I spoke to David for the first time, I asked him like what were some of his influences, what films should I watch? And he said, "Oh, The Thing." I was like, "Okay, I'll watch that. Great, that's going to be fun." And then he was like, "The Ring," the Japanese version, which is scarier. Great, thanks. So the whole thing's been horrible.
Do we have any questions out here? Otherwise, I'm gonna keep going. All right, first up, right here in the middle.
Yeah, I have a question, which is this movie works so well as like a traditional horror movie, and we were screaming in our seats. But there's also just so much of the movie that's really funny on purpose. There's so many good burns, and then when the murder plot is revealed, it's just so outlandishly ridiculous that it seems like the entire plot is a farce. And so it just feels like there's like an agenda you have here. Is this secretly just a movie that you think is really funny that you want to scare us with as much as you can? Is it actually a funny movie for you? Like, do you have like some secret game you're playing? Where does this ridiculous murder plot come from?
Yeah, I was hoping we'd be in the comedy section, but you know. I think that maybe if you took it, you know, if you're making a film and you took it so seriously, I think it would be kind of harder to enjoy it. Whereas if every now and again there's just, I mean, we never even played it for laughs, you know, it's, I think it was, there's an old film called Whitney and I, and the director of that, he said, if you ever tried to be funny, you know, if you ever tried to have, you know, Richard E. Grant or Paul McGann, if they were intentionally trying to, you know, they knew it was funny, it wouldn't work, whereas it just played it kind of straight. I mean, even the lines in it, like, you know, I don't know what you look like, but you know, you sound stupid, this kind of thing. It's trying to be too funny. I think it's just a little bit of a relief as well. You know, every few minutes, if you can kind of get a bit of a laugh and then you can drop back into the horror again. It's just that thing, just to try to make it entertaining, really, you know. I mean, one of my big heroes would be Sam Raimi, and I remember this old interview, he said, like, your number one goal is just to be to entertain. So, yeah, I think putting in a few jokes if you get away with them, you know, trying to be funny.
I think I really specifically just want to know how you concocted the ridiculous murder.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite cartoonish when you get to the end of it. It's I don't know, it's kind of melodramatic. It's even that line of like, she'll never get over me. It's so arrogant. It's
Why
so,
is that?
That was actually an ad-lib. I don't know, you know, it's just you come up with these things, and I essentially, I mean, it is wrapped around the death of this woman at the start, and then, you know, just trying to tell that in an entertaining way from the dark subject matter. Thank you.
More questions? Here we go, all the way on the left here.
Yeah, when I was watching it, and especially I think when we first saw Darcy in the shop, I got this weird feeling of timelessness about it. Like you almost could have set it as a period piece in the 50s. Was there any consideration in doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. I had made one film before this called Caveat, and
That's great.
I just like that idea that it's not set to a specific time, and I really tried hard to write them, you know, mobile phones, to write cell phones out of the script. It just wouldn't go. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's just because technology dates so fast. So you know, if you watch this film again in 10, 15 years, maybe it'll look, you know, you try to give it a little bit of a timeless nature to it. It's something I'd like to continue to do with any film I make. It's just, when is this set? This is set. It kind of gives it an otherworldly, strange feeling then, which might kind of add to the, I feel a little bit off watching it, but it still looks very, very pretty, and you know, it's a nice looking film.
I would like to give credit to your leading lady, because that to me really came across with one twin, you know, no doubt, okay, 21st century and all that, but the other one is like, oh.
Thank you. I think I do have to give credit to the costume department though, and the makeup department, and just Damien's script as well. You know, the two characters, when combined with all that collaboration, genuinely, I'm not blowing smoke, genuinely made my job an awful lot easier in kind of differentiating between the two characters. They kind of came alive when hair, makeup, costume, the script and everything came together, and the production design as well. They made my job very, very easy. So yeah, it was a huge credit to them as well, you know.
I think there was a nice, when we were talking about it yesterday, that like our production designer Lauren, and it was costume as well. They had this nice idea when you first see her inside this antique shop. It's almost like she'd be like that little ballerina inside in, when you open up the music box and she's there and she's so small in the frame. It's a nice idea. But yeah, that's, I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, that's something that I tried to do.
We got time for one or two more. Hugh here also on the left. Yeah.
Awesome. First of all, I want to congratulate you guys. I literally jumped out of my seat and said several F words. And the performances were amazing. But I also felt like the sound was it kind of an actor as well. Can you just talk about the sound design and kind of what you were thinking with that? Because it was spooky as hell.
Yeah, I think with horror films, like if I'm at home and it's hard to scare me now with horror anymore, just because I've been watching since 5 years old. But I think if you get scared, don't turn off basically turn off the sound, and the film's no longer scary. So the sound design in a horror film is everything. We put a lot of work into it, even the design of it, like to leave his mouth open, because we had no idea what he was going to sound like. So we said, well, if we leave his mouth open, even in the script, it just allows us then to kind of put anything into it at the end, And again, like we had two really good sound designers. I mean, our editor Brian is sitting up here. So he put in a lot of this stuff that, and just to kind of help him through the edit, kind of, to bring a scene to life. And then our sound designer Asa, we just spent a lot of time just trying to figure out kind of what he'd sound like, and the creaking of timber and this kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, in any horror film, sound is absolutely a character. Yeah, sure.
I think we have a last question. Here we go.
Thanks. The location was fantastic, and so much of the script seemed to revolve around what a unique location it was. If that stable house, whatever it was, wasn't available, did you have any second options? I mean, it seemed like the script fit the location.
Yeah, so Caveat was made in this same location, so our sets were built in that room, and so I spent so much time there. It's my buddy who owns the house, and I spent so much time there. You kind of go like, if you actually took all the sets out, it's actually a lovely room. There's big stone walls and walkways, and I said, this is, you can kind of fit a story around this because you can do so many wide shots and you're still inside. It would be quite interesting. So I just wrote it around this. I don't know if you hadn't given me permission to film there again. I think you would have to rework the script and just the feel of this. Yeah, I mean, again, the location is very much a character in the film as well. Yeah.
Great job.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very, very much for coming out to the pull out your phone and vote if you have not yet. I don't know if people are allowed to take pictures of this or want to or not, but thank you very much.